Today, we're going to talk about a topic that's near and dear to my heart, right? And one that's often overlooked. And that's the concept of the content supply chain, right? While in today's day and age, you think it's as easy as just log in, update, go, right? Build it. We should be moving. It's 2025. Let's go. It's never that easy, right? So, the content supply chain is a systematic process that an organization uses to plan, create, manage, distribute, analyze content across various channels and platforms, right? We know that content and our visitors today are across all kinds of different channels. And we know that to be competitive, we need to be there, right? We need to fish where the fish are. And if we're not doing that, we're not going to be out there. And as organizations get bigger, it's never that easy, right? So the concept of a content supply chain is how do you take that genius idea you had in the meeting and you're actually getting it up there, right? You have the idea to update the product page. How do you take that product page, work it through your workflow systems, get design sign off and everything to eventually get the product page updated? Okay. And the process is never that simple. There's always a lot of issues that happen, right? So, first, you have your workflow and your tool issues. You have more content needs than ever before. You have complexity, compliance, and then finally, as always, time, right? So, when it comes to your tools, you're always working through at least six to maybe a dozen tools at any given time. I'm picking up requests and tickets in my workflow management tool like Workfront or Jira. I'm working with the design team, getting designs out of Figma. I'm working with the content team in Word documents. I'm in my DAM systems, right? Not to mention the amount of meetings or sling pings on Slack. You name it, right? This all happens before I ever get to the CMS or the email or any of these different tools. I'm constantly there. How many meetings could be summarized by a Workfront update, and then I'd have 35 minutes back in my day, if not more, to actually get work done. Okay, so right there, this idea of jumping between tools, context shifting, and all those types of things impacts my day to day and my eventual capacity. Then the amount of content I need to create, right? 7 to 14 is a number, a magic number a lot of people like to talk about. I'd love if it was real, but it's like 7 to 14 pieces of content is what you need to convert a visitor, which is awesome. And if you're a mid-market site, right, you might have like 100, maybe more as the site gets bigger, as the company gets bigger, the sites get bigger. You're shooting out 4 to 8 emails, maybe a month. And that's before you start talking about all the other jobs the marketing ops team has to do, like all the social messaging, generating reports out of analytics, helping the event marketing teams, helping your ad placement teams, and so on and so forth, right? That's a lot of content as a baseline. Then the dirty little secret comes in where you factor in the marketing strategy of personalization. Such a cool concept, and today's day and age of personalization is like never before. It's hyper personalized, right? We know Mike is in New York on his mobile phone and he likes this content. It's amazing, right? And we could personalize all this type of content just for me in New York on my phone. Great. What the dirty little secret there is the multiple that makes about the amount of content that a marketing ops team needs to build. Okay? If I have on, let's average it out, 10 pieces of content, 5 emails, 3 personas, right? That's 30 content updates across 15 emails. That's way more. And I'm not getting more people on my marketing ops team. That's not happening. So how am I actually going to meet this need that the organization has, right? Because if you think about it, more content just means more work. That's all it ever means. And how am I actually going to make that happen? You layer on top of the fact that now I need to do more content with complexity and compliance. Okay, you have complexity of the different channels and the technical formats of those channels, right? I can't take my super high res image and throw it in on the website, or it's going to load the page way too slow. It might get blocked in my on the email service provider. So all of these different technical know-how I need to think about as a marketing ops team to compress the image and change this in Word formats and whatnot. Thankfully, X changed their character count, so now I don't have to worry about taking that word and getting it to 120 characters. Great. But all the other technical complexity on top of it is wild. Then you layer on top brand compliance and regulations, because I'd like to be able to just grab approved content and say, well, they wrote it, so I'm assuming it's on brand. I'm assuming it's approved for regulatory standards. But I got to protect myself and my team, so I need to do that looking as well, right? I need to make sure, are we using the right voice? Are we using the right tone across all this? Did I put an apostrophe S against the brand name and I know I'm not supposed to? Did I use words like always that I know from a regulatory perspective I can't use always? All of these types of things also needs to be managed, right? So you layer that on top of the amount of tools, on top of the amount of content, and the only thing I have no control over is time. My family already hates me because I'm always late for dinner and it's always cold, and you're gonna ask me to do more content. I just I don't have enough time for that, right? I just do not have enough time. So what I need something that's gonna solve real problems and doesn't change the way I work. Okay. There's nothing worse than you hop into a meeting, sitting with my manager, my boss is there, and the vendor's telling me about some problem that the company has that I didn't know existed, right? First off, I look like an idiot. But then second off, my manager's there like, yeah, Mike, we have that problem. We need to do something about it. And I'm sitting there going, I didn't have time for this meeting, let alone solving some problem I didn't know existed 2 hours ago. And what you want me to do adds another tool into my workflow. It requires me to then train all my stakeholders on this new tool and change everything else for again for this problem I didn't have. And at the end of the day, that same boss is coming to me saying, "Hey, Mike, I wanted you to publish 5 pieces of content, and you didn't get there. And now I'm hearing from this VP that we didn't meet their needs. And yep, all well and good. This is great, but I still need to hit that. And I'm spending way too much time fixing content problems I didn't know existed." Then you leverage on top of that that they don't always just work, right? And so many times you hear, well, you just need to train the model more, play with it, and it'll eventually come to what you need. That's cool. I wish I had time to do that. I wish I had time to learn, right? I love Gen AI. You love Gen AI. I don't think anyone out there, yeah, there are people out there that don't like Gen AI. That being said, it's a really cool tool. It's really awesome, right? But do I need, as a marketing ops team, do I need more content? I'm sure the brand needs more content. I'm sure from marketing strategy, we need more content. I'm sure if I had the ability to use Gen AI to generate more content, I could get more personalized and everyone would do better. I would love that, right? I'd get a better bonus in December if we're generating more content and the brand's converting more. But I don't have time. I do not have time to build it, right? I don't have time to build the content. I don't have the capacity to build the content that I need to hit today. And you're going to generate more content. I don't have time to build that. It just doesn't exist, right? So what I need something like an agentic operations platform. Okay. I need something that will automate the intake, the triage, and the building of the content that then gets published, right? Take the repetitive steps that I need to do to add components to a page, to add the hero, pull the right hero image, to do all of these different things to actually publish it. I should be able to just review and move forward with my different content updates. And that's exactly what I'm looking for, right? Something that if the request comes in through Workfront is gonna tag and route it properly based on the campaign brief, and then could actually integrate maybe with the Figma AI or whatever copy system I'm using to generate all of that. So then the humans can review it. My design team can update the Figma, and the copy team, copywriters can look at the copy design, and we could all kind of jam on that together. Then it just goes into my downstream systems like my CMS and my marketing automation tools and just starts building it, right? If I can actually automate a lot of that, I can actually start hitting this and we can generate more content. This idea is huge, right? And I'm finding if you combine that with this idea of a modular content database of already pre-approved useful content to train the models on, I have a winning formula here, right? I'll be able to generate better content based on approved working content, and I'll be able to build that faster as well, right? These two things that I find very often in the combination of like Sitecore and Gradial, for example, or AEM and Gradial, either of these tools, right, is a great way for me to get approved content out the door faster, gets my boss happier, and gets my wife happier as well. It's a win-win for me personally, right? And when I look at this idea of the modular content database along with the agentic platforms, right, it breaks content down. I need reusable and approved pieces, right? Little words that are reusable, not broken down maybe to the atomic format of like each character or word, but like the claims that I need that are approved. I know that I could say these types of things, so I could use that over and over and over again, following analytics, right? it and the agents then automate the building. I know that I need these, pull it out of my content database to put it into the email format across my heroes at my calls to action, so on and so forth. I use that to publish across all the different channels, which is awesome. And then I keep it all approved for for future use or reference, right? If someone comes in, needs to know what content was approved in October, it's super easy for me to pull out all the modular content that was approved in the month of October, right? These types of things are a huge benefit. And while things like Gen AI gets a lot of the focus because it is amazing, it's awesome watching these things get generated in real time, that would have taken me hours to create or write myself. I think it's the agentic angle that is like the unspoken heroes here, because looking at a piece of content that got created or updating an image that got generated, it is great and takes some time off, but I still need to build it downstream. So we need a tool that we need tools that kind of balance both of that, and really the focus on Gen AI takes the focus off of building, right? Of actually building the end experiences that our customers engage with. So we need a both end strategy here. And I think that's really what we'll look at coming into 2026.